Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be reading Allie, Finkle Rules for Girls Moving Day. I'm not going to read the whole book, of course. This is just going to be the video of chapter 1. So let's get into it. So let's just get comfy first. Okay, this book is by Cabot. It is #1 New York Times best-selling author, and we're going to do chapter 1. Okay. Rule number 1, don't stick a spatula down your best friend's throat. I like rules. The reason why is rules help make our lives easier. For instance, the rule about not killing people. Obviously, this is a good rule. Another good rule is everything that goes up must come down. This includes helium balloons. People don't know this, but you shouldn't let helium balloons loose outside, like at weddings or the Olympics, or whatever. Because what happens is eventually all the helium comes out and the balloons fall down, possibly in the ocean, and sea turtles eat them. Then they choke to death. So that is 2 rules. Everything that goes up must come down, and don't let go of helium balloons outside. Science has a lot of rules, like the one about gravity. So does math, like the 5 minus 3 will always be 2. That is a rule. That's why I like science and math. You know where you stand with them, rule-wise. What I'm not crazy about is everything else, because there are no rules for everything else. There are no rules, for instance, for friendship. I mean, besides the one that about treat your friends the way you want them to treat you, which I've already broken about 1,000,000 times. Like earlier today, when my best friend Mary Kay, Shiner, and I were making the strawberry frosting for her birthday cupcakes. First of all, who puts strawberry frosting on cupcakes, especially when Mary Kay knows perfectly well one of my rules is never eat anything red. Although in this case the frosting was pinkish, so technically it would be okay. But still, Mary Kay's babysitter, who is also her family's housekeeper, Carol, was helping us, and Mary Kay wouldn't stop crying on account of Carol letting me lick the spatula. Like Mary Kay didn't just get to lick the beaters since it was her birthday. Did anyone hear me complain that all I got was this lousy spatula, even though, truthfully, I did most of the work, opening the box and all of that? No. Also, at 9 years old, you shouldn't cry over things like not getting to lick the spatula. Sometimes I don't even know why I'm friends with Mary Kay, except that she's the only girl my age who lives on my side of High Street, which I'm not allowed to cross without an adult present since that kid got hit by a car while he was riding his skateboard there, which reminds me, here's another rule. Always wear a helmet when you're skateboarding, because if a car hits you, your brain will splat open, and kids like me will spend their time waiting for the cars to go by so they can cross the street looking for bits of your brain the ambulance might have left behind in the bushes. Anyway, while I'm licking the spatula, Mary Kay was all, she's getting more than me, and I want a taste. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just so sick of Mary Kay's whining. I mean, half the time I don't think Mary Kay knows how lucky she is. having a babysitter who is also a housekeeper who makes cupcakes for her to take to school on her birthday. We don't have a babysitter who is also a housekeeper. So no one in my family has time to make cupcakes since both my parents work. So for my birthday, I had to bring store-bought cupcakes from Kroger, and Scoot's Stanley said he could taste the chemicals in them. Plus, Mary Kay has parents who will buy her whatever she wants, like a hamster in its own habit trail, because she is an only child and her parents can afford it. Maybe that is what I was thinking about when I said, "Here, Mary Kay," and held out the spatula. Maybe I was thinking about how Mary Kay has her very own pet hamster, Sparky, with a habit trail. Whereas I only have a dog, Marvin, who I have to share with my whole family. Maybe that is what I was thinking about when Mary Kay put the spatula into her mouth, and I was still holding on to the end. Maybe that is what I was thinking about when I kind of shoved the spatula into her mouth a little. I meant it as a joke. A birthday joke. And okay, I know it was mean, but I just wanted to teach her a lesson about not being greedy. I meant it in a joking way, but I should have known Mary Kay wouldn't take it that way. As a joke, I mean. And I should have known she'd start crying, this time for real, because the spatula went down her throat. But just a little. Like it barely went down. Maybe it touched her tonsils, but that's it. Still, this is not a good example of treating your friends as you would want them to treat you. Also, it was all my fault. I said I was sorry about 1,000,000 times, but Mary Kay still wouldn't stop crying. Finally, I had no choice but to go home and sit in the wheelbarrow in the garage and tell myself it was all my fault. I'd broken the only rule of friendship that there is, which I didn't make up myself. Although a part of me couldn't help thinking that Mary Kay hadn't broken an important rule, my own, never eat anything red, but especially don't choose that color for your cupcake. Frosting if your best friend can't stand strawberry, even though I have to admit that the frosting was pretty good. It tasted more like vanilla with red food coloring in it. Then it did like strawberries, which I hate. But still, the rule I broke was the more important one, the treat your friends the way you'd want them to treat you rule. I certainly wouldn't want someone to shove a spatula down my throat, even if it was just a little. I pretty much deserve not to be Mary Kate's best friend anymore, especially since clearly I didn't know the first thing about the rules of friendship. That is when it became clear to me that I needed to write them down. The rules, I mean. Because there are so many to remember that sometimes even I forget them. And I'm the one who's making them up. So I found a spiral notebook in a box near the Christmas ornaments that Mom marked school supplies. Then, using one of her permanent markers that she saves for writing on her home improvement tools and told us kids especially not to use, except that this was an emergency. So I knew she would understand. I wrote Allie Finkle's Rules for Girls across the front of it. Then I wrote keep out if you are not a girl. I wrote that because I have little brothers who are always butting into my business. I don't need them. I don't need them knowing my rules. They can make up their own rules if they're that interested. I was sitting back in the wheelbarrow, writing out the rule about remembering to wear a helmet while skateboarding on High Street when Carol surprised me by coming into the garage and asking me to come back to Mary Kay's house. She said Mary Kay was crying even harder because I'd left. Also, she said that I probably hadn't done any permanent damage to Mary Kay's uvula or tonsils. I got out of the wheelbarrow and went back to Mary Kay's, even though I didn't really want to. I did it because that's what friends do. When I got there, Mary Kay hugged me and told me she forgave me and that she knew I hadn't meant to hurt her. I was glad Mary Kay had forgiven me, but I secretly felt a little bad too, because of course I hadn't mean to hurt her. I swear, it's a total burden. I have a best friend who is as sensitive as Mary Kay. I always have to be super careful around her, not to say or do the wrong thing, such as accidentally touch her handle with a spatula, because Mary Kay is an only child and used to getting her way. And if she doesn't get her own way, like if playing Lions, her favorite game, not mine. My favorite game is Detective, not that we ever get to play it. And I say she should be the male lion for a change, because I have rug burns from crawling around doing all the hunting, and I want to fly around with the cute cubs. Even though in the wild the female lions do all the hunting, not the male lions, as I know from my instinctive reading on animals. She just starts crying. Or if I get to lick the spatula and she wants it, still I showed her my notebook, the one in which I was writing the rules. I thought maybe if she saw the rules, she might actually try following them for a change, especially the treat your friends the way you want them to treat you. First, I made her swear not to tell anybody about it, though I explained to her that I was going to hide the notebook in a special place under the slots beneath my bed, so my brothers wouldn't find it. I thought this actually might make her interested in reading it, but it didn't. Mary Kay just yawned and asked if I wanted to play lines, which is too bad, because if anyone could use some help with the rules of friendship, it's Mary Kay. I'm starting to think I could use a new best friend, a different, non-crying best friend, just for a change. It's kind of funny that I was thinking this, because when I got home from Mary Kay's that night, Mom and Dad told us we were moving. And that's chapter 1. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I will have another video of chapter 2, which is basically rule 2. But so that's it for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!